Hey everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of our Cities Skylines After Dark Let's Play. Just checking out one of our pedestrian paths or crossings over here, and looks like they're getting quite a bit of use, which is absolutely fantastic. So it's exactly what we designed them for, exactly what we hoped they would do, and I think as our city grows they'll get even more use. Hopefully keep a lot of cars off our streets. So we've got a few things or a few challenges that we're going to have to work on today. Our city has grown quite quickly and will continue to do so. So actually all these high density residential buildings, even though we don't have a huge amount of residential demand, if actually come through and have a look at a lot of these buildings, most of them actually have existing capacity, so they're not actually full up, which means that all these places are actually going to sort of keep growing pretty consistently and pretty quickly, which means our population will grow quite quickly, and therefore we will run into sort of the natural problems as our city grows. So I'm going to have a look at our traffic situation today, and education, and also some of our train systems over there. So that's the three things we're going to look at tackling today. First thing we're going to do is schooling. So I think we're going to put down at least one elementary school. So we've got 3 at the moment, but they are over capacity. So what we're going to do, I think we're going to put one sort of down here near our residential area. So we're going to put it, try and find basically just a spot to put it. Going to have to knock down some buildings, but that's sort of just the way what has to happen. So we can't put it there. What about there? There we go. So we sort of run the game just for a little bit, and we should have a lot more reach over there. We're also going to put another one down over here, probably just about there. Oh no, we can't go there. What about not there either? What about there? Get rid of some buildings to do that, but I think that's okay. So we can make sure that we haven't missed any zoning there, so we just fix that up, and around here as well. I think that should be fine though. So if we have a look at our education now, so that should be basically sort of using up all of our capacity, but I think we can't really afford to put too many more down. I mean, we could sort of put some up here, but I think we'll sort of leave that for a little bit later. So what we're going to look at now is our high schools. So we're definitely going to need, I think I'll put 2 down, 1 in each side sector over here. So I'm going to jump into our high schools, and might put actually one sort of right next to our elementary school there. About there actually, no, I can't put it there. So I think we're going to put it on this side, so maybe about there. Be a perfect spot for it. That should give us a lot more reach there. So it's going to take us up to 2,000 capacity, so we're definitely going to need a third one, and I think probably over here somewhere. And where is our other elementary school? We did put one over here somewhere. I think it's it there. I think that's probably it there. So what we may try and do is put it there, so just opposite our other elementary school. So probably there. So we're definitely losing some houses and stuff by doing this, but I definitely think it's worth it, just to sort of keep up with our capacity and things like that. So if we look into here, so we're sort of basically running at capacity. University has a lot of capacity, which is fantastic. But what this means is basically we're going to keep upgrading our commercial over here, and that just means that we're going to keep needing more educated and well-educated workers. So you already see here that we actually are running into some shortages. So that's why we sort of had to look at the education situation there. So what we're going to do next, we have a fair bit of commercial demand. So what we are going to do is jump into our high density commercial, and we are going to get rid of this block and replace it with high density, and do the same with this one, and then also this one here and there. So that's another 3 blocks of high density that will be converted over. Like we mentioned, we're actually going to leave this strip bare for the moment. Actually, given our demands and given our population is going to increase very quickly, we're going to have quite a bit of commercial demand, so I actually may sort of change my mind, and we may just have to deal with some increased noise pollution in this this higher sector of our residential place. So what we're going to do, given that we have quite a bit of industrial demand, I'm a little bit reluctant to actually expand out this industrial area until we can sort out something a little bit better. So we're going to put down a cargo train terminal over here, and then I think once we get our next expansion, which won't be too far away, we're actually going to buy this tile, this one here, and actually build a proper or a quicker route out to the highway. just for get our trucks and stuff out a lot quicker there. So what we're going to do for now, we're actually going to put down a bunch of offices along here. So along the back here. So offices don't generate much noise pollution. Do they generate any actually? I don't think they generate a whole lot, and they don't really impact sort of areas as much as commercial do. The downside to offices is that they don't actually generate as many jobs as sort of specialised industrial areas do. So you sort of need a whole lot more of them to get the same bang for your buck, which is the reason we're not going to use sort of enormous amounts of them. But I think for now, given that we've sort of got this area free anyway, it's probably just better to use it up and soak up some of our industrial demand while we sort out our other areas. So that's quite good. So this garbage dump is almost empty. Once that's empty, we're actually going to move it all the way down here. And I'm thinking we may actually put an incinerator and a landfill over here just to cater for our industrial area. Because the problem we're having here is that this road is absolutely chockers. I don't really want to run a full highway down, but we're actually going to put, so like I mentioned, we're going to put our cargo train terminal over there. That's going to get rid of a reasonable amount of these trucks. I mean, we're going to still have quite a bit of traffic on here because not all the industry is going to use the cargo train terminal. A lot of them are still going to want to ship their goods out by the highway. We also have a huge amount of garbage trucks actually using this road because basically they have to come from either here or here to get all the way over here. So if we can actually put down a landfill and an incinerator over here, that means they're basically going to be off this road here. The third big thing we're going to do to deal with this traffic is actually, I'm not sure if we can see a whole lot at the moment, we're getting some in here. A lot of people are actually having to drive to work. So here, and all these cars through here are actually driving into work. So they have to come all the way from the residential area all the way over to here. So what we're going to do, once we get a little bit of money, it's probably going to take a little bit of time, we're actually going to set up a metro system. And after we've done that, we're actually going to set up some buses as well. But the metro is going to come first, only because it's a lot quicker and it has a far greater capacity to actually bring a lot of workers from our residential all the way over to our industrial. We could set up buses, but it's going to take a lot of buses and be a lot less sort of efficient really. So we're going to set up a metro first, then jump into the buses, and we'll sort of do it that way. So what we're going to do now is we are going to set down a cargo train terminal. I sort of talked last time about a bit of a specialized way of doing it, where you had two sort of terminals and one was isolated from the sort of the main line. Then you could sort of ship goods in and stuff. We're not really able to do that at the moment. We will be later, and it will be really good. But it's going to take a lot of investment. So we're going to have to basically build a few other terminals around our city, and we just don't have the funds to do it, and we're not going to for a while. So for now, we're actually just going to put down a single cargo train terminal in this area to sort of get some of the trucks and stuff shipping their goods out via rail over here. So we're just going to do this, and we're actually just going to hook up over here. And then over here, like, if I can get it to click in, like that there. So there we go. The reason, if you've never played the game before, the reason you actually set it back and have these extra lines coming off is basically if you set your main terminal on the main tracks, this is the main line, so it runs off the map. Whenever a train stops at your station, it's going to back up basically the whole line. So you sort of just get these, set it off the track, have these extra tracks. So basically, when you have a train coming to the station, it stops here, and you can still have tracks running on the main line. So that's just a really sort of quick and simple way that we do, or reason for what we do there. I'm thinking over here, we may actually set up a few different routes into here, just so we don't have sort of one isolated route and it gets really clogged up. I'm also thinking about actually developing a roundabout over here potentially, but I think what we're going to do for now, we're just going to do something really simple. It's not going to be all that pretty, but I think it's probably just worth it for now. So we're just going to not do that. We're going to set up a line or a road to there. We are also going to just bring out some roads out to here. I'm just going to hook up to there as well. And I think we're even going to bring it out here and then across to there like that. So hopefully that just sort of spreads the load a little bit. I know here is going to be really, really busy, but I think we can't really do a whole lot about that. I'm not sure if this is going to work. I mean, it's really sort of not elegant, not all that efficient, but for now, I think it's probably just the best thing to do. So we should be able to start running the game again. when we set our water stuff down. So we're just going to run a water pipe and then some electricity. So it's going to run electricity one from there to there like that. Cool, so that's okay. So we've used a fair chunk of our money. Metro is going to be quite expensive to set up, so we're going to have to save up for that a little while. We're going to need a reasonable number of stations to do that, and each station costs 15,000. So I expect we're going to need around maybe the, oh I gotta know, 125, 150k mark, probably to set up our metro like we want to. But I definitely think that it will be worth it. Right, so it takes a little while for these cargo train terminals to kick in. So basically, the industry sort of have to process that there is a different way to send it out, and then they sort of send their trucks there. So it does take a little bit of time to kick in. So we're just going to move away from there at the moment. Yeah. So I think we may actually get rid of this road. I'm not quite sure. Going to set up water pipes for here, which we should have done a little bit earlier. Just going to run through to there, and just run through there as well, just to fix up that. So that should be good. So that should fix up a lot of our industrial demand there. Our commercial demand is gone as well, and we've still got a bit of extra space, which is good. We've also got all this area over here to actually transform, which is absolutely brilliant. So I actually dropped the speed back down to 2, given that our city is going to expand quite quickly. I think that's probably the best way to go for now. We're actually going to come over into our policies for our sperm crater suburb or district, and we are going to initiate free public transport. We're also going to do the same thing for our CBD, and I'm not sure if this is going to have an effect, but we're also going to do it for our Lost Forest industrial area. So basically, once we set up our metro, we want everyone to be using public transport as much as possible, because we want to get as many cars off the road as we possibly can. So we can see that this line or this road is super busy, but it's flowing, which is fine. We're starting to get quite a lot of traffic in our sort of internal areas, which is no great surprise. I'm actually thinking that eventually we may actually want to run maybe a road down here and run sort of another connection into the heart of our residential area over here, just so we've got like another way into the city. We also may do the same over in this area, but I'm not really quite sure, because I think a lot of cars are having to come use these roads just to sort of get out into the fringes over here. So we can sort of give them an alternative that they can sort of come along here instead. Because I mean the horizontal roads along here are actually okay. It's sort of basically the turn off and the junctions where everyone's sort of trying to turn in and come down. So I mean, you look at how many people are actually using the pedestrian paths that we set up, and if they weren't there, would almost be, I think we'd have far greater problems than what we do. So I think they've worked really quite well for the moment. So a lot of people are using them, which is really good. Yeah, so that's fantastic. So I mean, we're not too bad, given we're at sort of 14,000 population, which is it's not amazing, but it's also pretty good, or it's not nothing as well. I think our traffic problems are sort of okay. So if we look at what we're going to do with our bus lanes, I think buses, don't really generally have a huge success with buses. So I think what I'm going to do, so I think sometimes maybe I overcomplicate them, run too many stops, too many lines and things like that. So what I'm going to actually try this time around is actually sort of, like for example, this is sort of our main service area right in here. So we've got our hospital, our high school, our university, and then our police and fire stations in this area as well. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm actually going to experiment with running, like so put a stop here, and then a stop here, and that's basically a line. And I might do that for sort of like here, and then here, and then here, and sort of basically repeat that across. So sort of just have a few stops in each sector, and then run them sort of into our service areas over here. See if that, I think, like, especially with the schools, I think that's going to make a big difference. And then we may experiment with sort of running some lines from our residential into our commercial. And we'll see how that runs a little bit later on. But I think we're just going to start really simple, see how that runs. If it doesn't work, we can scrap them and start again. If they do, that's going to be really good. And yeah, so to sort of just move from there. So I'm actually going to start putting down some of our metro stations. So what we are going to do, we are going to put a metro station right there. We're also going to put 4 basically across here. So put one here, one here, one here, and one here. And then we're going to put, I probably think 3 in this area to start with, just so we get a nice good coverage of our industrial area. So we're going to put our next one, I think probably there, and then there, and then finally there. So there we go, so there's our 4. We are also, I'm just going to pause down quickly, we're only going to put 1 up in the CBD at the moment, and we may look at expanding that out a little bit later, but just for the moment we're just going to put 1. So I think we're going to put it right in the heart of our CBD there. So that's basically all our money. So what we're going to do now, we've got our facilities empty, so one of our garbage, our landfills. So actually going to move this one, and we're going to move it down to here. And then we're going to actually take off emptying, so it starts sending out lots and lots of trucks again. So if we have a look in here, so it's going to send out all these trucks, which is really, really good. Because we did have a few sort of garbage build-ups over here. And then, I think before we sort of start expanding our metro out any further, so you actually see in here quite a few trucks coming in, or a reasonable amount of trucks coming in into our cargo terminal. And so these are all, basically every truck that uses this is another one that's not on the road, so that is quite good. The problem that we're going to have now is you just saw a train actually coming in. So a train came from the main line in rather than sort of exporting. So these are actually importing goods into our city. The problem we've got now is these are actually importing goods for our commercial area. So our commercial area is actually going to, rather than bringing everything in by road, some of them are now choosing to import it by train. So basically what's going to happen, they're going to send all their trucks all the way along here into our commercial area, which is, given that we're trying to reduce traffic on here, that's not really what we want. So we have a look here, the trains come in and you see all these little, cargo trucks basically, they're all going into different parts of our commercial district, so they're going to have to come all the way along here into there. So given that that's not great, once we've sorted out our metro and our garbage area over here, we are then going to set up a cargo train terminal for our CBD. We're going to basically set up right in the middle there, and then we're going to hook that up onto the main line, probably over here somewhere, I suspect. Basically what that's going to mean, it's going to mean that all the imports for the rail imports for our commercial area will actually come over here rather than over here. And then because it's here, they've basically just got to go, a few streets along and then there. So that's going to take all the traffic off this area, but it's also going to take all the traffic coming basically from the highway right through our city. So it's going to be a lot more efficient. And we're sort of going to build our CBD around that. So I think we'll probably build our CBD sort of around the rail station. So that's really what we're going to do there. So building up a little bit of money. So what we're going to do now, I think we're going to build let's use a gravel road, I guess. Maybe maintain the authenticity of it a bit. We are going to build a road out to there, and then what we're going to do, we're going to put down a landfill right there, and also an incinerator right there. Hook these up to water if they need them, and also run a power line from there over to here, so our incinerator can hook into the grid. And that should kick in pretty quickly. And so you can see now, basically all these areas are going to send out trucks for our industrial area, which is exactly what we want, which is going to stop a lot of trucks having to come from here and also over to here, all the way around here. So it's going to get a lot of trucks off this highway, which is another sort of reason that we are going to do that. We're emptying this one as well, so hopefully these are going to empty into here. So these ones are pretty empty, but the incinerators do have a fair bit in them, so they're generating quite a bit of power, which is nice. We're going to need to put down another power, so I'm actually going to do that now. So we're going to put down an advanced wind turbine. So you put one down right there, like that. It's going to give us another 20 megawatts. We've got enough water for a little while, so we've actually got around about 20,000 capacity, which is not a whole lot, but it's enough given that we actually don't have enough money to buy any more anyway. So that's going to have to be our priority rather than fixing or extending our metro. So you actually see in this episode we've already gained about 2,500 population in the course of 20 minutes of playtime. So city is expanding very, very fast, which is not a bad thing. Basically, because we're not building any new residential areas, it's just all of these existing ones actually just filling up basically. So there's still actually room in this one for 4 households. So that sort of just gives you an example of why our population is increasing so quickly. So it's up around the 200 population increase per tick, so that is quite a bit. Or per week, I should say. It's 200 per week, which is a lot still. So, getting some more demand for our industrial. I'm not sure whether I want to expand this area still. So you can see all these cargo trucks coming through here, so it's definitely something we're going to want to fix. putting another cargo terminal here, but we just haven't got the money, and we have to build some water, and then I think we're better off getting our metro system up, so we get all the... So you see along here, all these cars coming in, they're all going to work. So we want to basically get all of these off the road. So that's going to free up this road a lot. So I think that's going to be our priority, then we can look at doing some other stuff. Do we want to expand this area out? I'm not really quite sure, to be honest. I think we're going to have to, given we've got so much demand there. We haven't really got anywhere else we can expand to, so... I think we're just going to have to bite the bullet and do it. Hopefully our system, our road network and stuff can cope with it. What we're going to do is build up there like that. We're actually going to get rid of some of these roads. Like this, I think. I'm going to keep this one. What we're going to do now is going to extend our gravel network. So, like I said, this is not the most efficient way, the gravel roads, but I'd rather sort of just have a little bit of authenticity. Just makes me happy to look at, and we'll deal with the consequences as we have to. So we go there, along to there, like that. I think we may do the same about... Actually, I think we may run it from the existing intersection, just so we don't create sort of a further intersection, which is generally more trouble than it's worth. So we're going to do that. We're actually going to hook these up through here as well, like that, and then also up to there, like that. In addition, we're also going to run connections over here. I think we may just run with the one, although maybe we should do a second one as well. Not quite sure, to be honest. Maybe we should just hook up these roads. No, we'll just leave that for now. We'll leave it for now. So what we're going to do, we're going to zone a whole stack of this as industrial. I think we're going to leave this road, main road clear. So what we're going to do is fill in all of this, and sort of up to about there, like with that. And then sort of the same over here. So you should take off that bit, it's not going to build anyway. That, and then there's a bit over here as well. So we can actually fill in that like that. There, and then all this through here, up to about there, like that, and through here. So that's a fair bit of extra industrial forestry that will be built. So what do we have to do? We have to extend our district, so make sure that it is built as forestry and not as stock standard industry. Then we have to run some more water through here as well. So I think what we may do is actually just extend up this way. It's probably the most efficient way of doing it. So we're going to go to there, and then run one from there up through here like that. So there we go. So that should, a whole bunch of extra industry should build through there, which should take care of our demand. It should have power, I hope. So it's starting to build up there, which is not really what we wanted. So what we may do, just to kickstart things, is build along to there like that, and then also build along just over to here. Start it up there, can we? Not there, yep. Just there like that. Just wait until they sort of hook into this area over here, so it should, the energy network should actually jump roads. Shouldn't be a problem at all, but just until it develops, we'll set that up and we'll get rid of it later. 29,000, so we can actually afford another, well 30,000, we actually afford another 2 stations. But we need 3, so we're just going to wait for a little while, guys. Everything's pretty under control, so that's quite good. 16,000 population, and here is our next milestone, which is quite nice. So up to a big city. We can buy another area, and we can also build a crematorium and a water treatment plant, which is quite good. So, what are we going to do? We've been out to nearly 90,000, so we can basically, hopefully, nearly finish our metro network. I'm not really sure if we're going to buy this tile yet. Maybe we're going to set up a metro network and see how it goes before we do that. Only because we're not really going to use anything else apart from this highway, so it's a little bit of a waste if we sort of wanted to buy over here maybe, or even over here. We don't have to wait a lot longer than if we do that. So maybe we'll just set up a metro and our cargo. Hopefully that sort of takes some of the pressure off. And we'll just see. Cool. So what we're going to do, we're going to set up the remainder of our metro. So what I'm thinking, we may put one here, sort of next to a few of our services. Although I think we may actually sort of need to expand these a little bit. And then if we're going to build the bigger ones, we're going to sort of put them up here a little bit. So I'm actually going to put one here. Put it right on the corner there. Sort of a little bit of forward planning there. We're going to put ones whereabouts? We'll say here. So we'll put it there to hopefully sort of cover this area. This one should hopefully sort of cover in here. It may sort of need a fourth one up here, but we won't do that at the moment. And then we're going to put our third one probably there, I suspect. So hopefully this gives us fairly good coverage across most of our existing industry. So, how much have we got? 42,000. I'm not sure that's going to be quite enough, but we'll just give it a go, see how we go. So what we're going to do, we're going to run around into there, like that. Then we're going to run from there straight across into there. Don't think we're going to bother hooking up here, because we'll just sort of just come around here and then come back. Saves a little bit of money. Then we're going to build around here, and no we can't, so we're going to have to get rid of that, and then we're going to sort of basically have to build yeah, up about there. So we'll just sort of say about there, like that. Then what we're going to do, we are going to actually sort of swing around this way into there, and we're out of money, so we have to wait for our money to build up a little bit. Can't take out any more loans. We could take out a 20,000 one though. Maybe we'll do that actually. I mean, it's 403 a week, but we've got plus 9,000 anyway, so we're actually just going to do that. Get our Metro network set up quicker. So we're going to actually hook up these ones as well. There we go, and then through here like this, and to there like that. Then what we're going to do, we're going to hook up our CBD one, but we're actually just going to sort of come in and hook up there. I think that's all. I don't think we'll run another one down here yet. We probably won't really need it. So what we're going to do, we're going to set up two routes basically. We're going to set up a residential to our work and then a residential to our CBD. So what we're going to do, we're going to run a line from there to here. So basically running through our residential areas and picking up a lot of our workers. And then we're going to go just to here, and to here. So that should cover most of our industry. And then we're just going to run back. So basically, we're just going to run back all the way through and exactly sort of repeat what we've just done. To there and to there. Next thing we're going to do is set up a new one. Just go there to there, so through our residential ones, and then to our CBD, and then back through what we've just done again. To there and complete. Cool, and we're just going to start running the game. So we've got down to 5,000, we've got a fair bit of income, which is nice. We've already set up free public transport, so hopefully people start using that quite quickly. Just going to jump in and check that we don't need to sort of rezone some areas if we missed out any. So there's our metro there, and then just around here. So that should be fine in case we cause any problems. We're going to fix up our districts as well. So we're actually going to do this and just follow the road along. And do that like that, and then we're going to do the same along here. Oops, didn't want to do that, so get rid of that one. And just follow the back road along, if we can, and then that should pretty much cover all of our... There we go, like that. So that's our new two districts. This one's already done, which is really good. Yeah, so we get our metro set up, which is quite nice. You actually sort of see people coming in here already, so quite a few people using it. Jump into the transport screen, you can actually see them. This is actually them sort of standing underground, so you actually sort of see how many people are waiting at each stop. So jump over here, and we've actually just had a metro come in, which is good. So quite a few people waiting down here, which is nice. And we see our metro come through, stop there, and all these people should jump on that metro like that. So there we go. So that's quite a few people. We can see our metros and stuff over here as well, jumping through. So a little bit of congestion, but it won't be too bad. Which is quite good. And then they're coming through all the way over into our industrial area, which is nice. We're going to bump up the speed to 2. And you can see actually a bunch of people sort of getting out there to get to work, so that's quite good. Obviously it'll increase like the volume and stuff, will increase the more the game goes on, and there you go. And you see quite a few people get out of there and come up and actually go to work. So if you actually come down here and click on a lot of these people, you can actually see going to work or going home, and then a lot of these are actually going to work, and work. Yeah, so that's what we wanted basically. We want people coming from residential, and rather than driving, so every person that we sort of transport via our metro is one less that has to get here basically by road, because that's the only way they could get there. So every person we take there is another car that's off the road, which is exactly what we wanted. So I'm just going to leave the game running for a little while. Getting quite a bit of extra commercial, so we're actually going to rezone in the rest of our area into high density. So get rid of that, rezone this, and then rezone that whole block like this and like that. So that should be that whole block done now, which is good. So like that, there we go. So all of this should build back in and fix our extra commercial demand. 16,500 population, which is pretty good. And that's quite good, quite happy with that. So just going to have a look at our metro station. So 153 a week there, 158, 240 and 528. Wow, that's a lot there. So that's good. So that's like a lot of people there that are actually coming through into our metros, which is good. So 129 there, 47 there, and 20 there. So like I said, it'll definitely build up the longer the game goes on. Quite a few cargo trucks and stuff coming through and using our cargo train terminal, which is good. So we aren't getting them off the road. It's a quicker way for them to get their goods out. So that's the only problem we've got now is basically all of these you can see here blocking up all of these little cargo trucks that we don't want on the road. We don't want them coming from there anyway. So I think that's going to be our job for next time. We're running at 31 minutes now, guys. So we've nearly got enough money to build another cargo terminal. I think that's probably going to be one of the first things we do in our episode next time. We're going to set up one right here in the middle. So just hook up some roads really close in, and then basically we should get all those cargo trains coming in, and they can just basically, the trucks can just come out, jump on this road, and then just go to the area and then come back. And they don't have to use our big long road, and they don't have to sort of come all the way through our city. So should be a lot quicker, should be a lot better. So look at our traffic now. So even though it's night, it's definitely sort of lessened a little bit as well. So a lot less people through here. So I'm just going to say that's because of our metro we set up, but it's probably not. It's probably just because it's nighttime, which is fine as well. Yeah, so a lot of people using our roads. This looks like it's a little bit less heavy. So there's sort of more gaps and stuff appearing, which is good. So 32 minutes episode, guys. I'm actually going to put a pause in here, and everything's looking quite good. So quite liking the look of our city. Hope you guys do too. Hope you're enjoying this series, and as always, if you could subscribe to the channel and also like the video, that would be enormously appreciated. And I will see you all for the next episode.